Hello, welcome to Soni Irabor Live. And today, well, there's a union of some old faces and colleagues and friends of yesteryear. And when we say union, we mean it. This time it's just between two persons, Miatta Fahnbulleh. Well, she's from Liberia, but she's also from Nigeria.
You know.
She's also from Ghana. She's West African, but she's majorly an African woman. If you should look at the way she's dressed, you can almost tell that she's all African to the core. Miatta, welcome.
Welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you, my brother.
Amosakesa.
Always.
What is that?
I'm almost satisfied.
I'm almost satisfied.
Yeah, but you know, Liberians, we take the shortcut. Amosakesa. That's just a shortcut for I'm almost satisfied.
Okay, but based on what language is that? Crew?
No. That song originated in the settler community, as we call them. And I'm sure they were singing it correctly. And then the indigenous picked up on and did it their own way and made it their own. So when I was 5, 6 years old, I met Amosakesa. We used to play it in a ring. You know, you get in the circle and you dance around, etc. And then you put one person in the circle and they do their thing, etc.
Can you hum it for me? Amosakesa.
Amosakesa. Amosakesa.
Wow.
I want to dance so my legs too short. I want to sing but I ain't got no voice. I want to love but I ain't got no heart. I want to see but my eyes are dim. Amosakesa.
I'm almost satisfied. Well, welcome to my show.
Always a pleasure.
It's been fun. We couldn't see when we came to Liberia, Monrovia.
Don't remind me.
You were so busy at the time.
Oh.
You know. But let's look at Africa. Today, I see Africa as a continent of sort, gifted, yet very poor. How do you look at that? We have all the natural resources and nothing.
Yes. Yes. For me, and I think I've seen Africa from a 9-year-old child all across. I've had the experience in Sierra Leone. We went to Kenya. And I say that Africa has regressed since independence.
Regressed?
Yeah. Yes. I remember when I was in school in Sierra Leone, 14 years old, secondary. Immaculate education, because Sierra Leone was known for that.
Okay, Fura Bay College and all of those
College
things, yeah.
and everything else. And, oh, he's taking my coffee.
Good, yes.
And then I went to Kenya, again, to the best schools and everything else. You saw what was happening. The streets were clean. Electricity was running. Basic infrastructure was in place in the 60s and in the 70s. And then you reach the stage where here we are in 2024, generators are beating all over the place.
We call them the generator symphony.
Yeah, beating all over the place. We are not able to supply lights. I never remember in Sierra Leone lighthouse. Never. I mean, look at even Ghana. As much progress as they've made, lights go off. And I hear it's the same thing in South Africa. So for me, it's, you know, I just feel, my goodness, yes, we took 10 steps forward trying to practice this thing called democracy, but we've actually gone back 15, 20 steps back.
So democracy is not our game at all then?
You know, me, I won't able to go to Uibo country and just see my grandchildren and everything. When you start telling them this, then they say you're not a Democrat. I'm saying, what is democracy to our people?
What is democracy? True.
What is democracy to our people? Do you understand? We all know that our people will vote for their tribe's person first, whether they have the qualification or education as the one who is not your tribe. They will vote for their tribesman. So we need to get, we need to go above all of that. How do we do it, Soni? We are not educating our people anymore. We're not
That's heartbreaking to hear, because when I went to Monrovia, what I saw, a lot of kids, beautiful, agile, able-bodied young ones, youths and all of them, I was told they were not in school.
No.
Then in Nigeria, the same problem.
Yes.
I said, what is happening?
Yes.
You're saying that now, you're mirroring that.
Yes. Yes. I remember my first trip to Katsina, which must have been about 7, 8 years ago. I'd never been that, far into the north, and we went by road from Abuja. And I mean, Kaduna, Kano, and everywhere. And I'm seeing these kids on the streets with their bowls. And I'm saying to myself, what's happening with us? What's happening with us? We can't even educate our children. We can't educate the future leaders of our continent. And we cannot go anywhere without education. I mean, take Liberia, for instance. United Nations and all of these people have come up with these. We probably are the only country whereby the older generation, my generation and above, are more educated than the younger people.
Well, it should have been the reverse.
And it should be the reverse. But I'm saying, what happened? We had a period of civil war, mismanagement, bad governance.
You're echoing some very familiar phrases: mismanagement,
Yes.
bad government.
Yes.
All over Africa, you have that kind of problem. So how do we redress or address it?
Education.
Which education?
Good
The
education.
one where you say no, they there.
Good education. I don't care. Okay, this is 2024.
Yeah.
We're told now the age of technology. The age of...
And our youths are very adept.
Hey!
Good ones too.
Aren't they? Yes. Aren't they? And so, if we cannot educate them all academically, to become the doctors and the lawyers, etc., then let's get into technology. Look at India, for heaven's sake. Look at India. The majority of the population, I don't think, is more educated than we are on this continent. They got into technology, and now they control. Set up office in Dubai, and I'm in New York, and I'm calling an 800 number, and it goes to Dubai. It goes to India.
Before it gets to Dubai?
Yeah.
Wow.
But that is what is happening. So let us prepare the children for 2030, 2040, and 2050.
Do you see that happening? Because the way Africa is going, we are complaining that the West is not, they over-colonized us. Now we are gravitating to the East, Chinese and Indians. They are gradually colonizing us. So where will Africa ever remain uncolonized?
Africa is afraid of being radical.
Afraid, huh?
Yes. We're afraid, and I'm not saying the population, the political class. The political class, they're comfortable. They don't want to rock the boat. They want to be on the good side of the Americans. They want to be on the good side of the French.
And be on the bad side of the people they rule.
Of course. They are taking signals from the West and whoever else, okay? And there are times, Soni, I've said, why can't we just close this continent off? Close it up. Bling. Nobody enter.
Like China did.
Yes.
Mao Zedong.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So why can't we close our continent down?
Yeah.
We must eat what we produce. If we don't produce it, then we starve.
Yes.
We must produce our own textiles. We must produce the basic things. The basic things.
I was told the Congo is the richest nation on earth with natural resources.
And I have a very good, my guru girlfriend, a former director of UNESCO, she asked me one day, she says, Miatta, have you ever wondered why all the wars in Africa are in the richest places? She said, you think the wars just happened? Huh? Why are we still fighting in the Congo after almost 60 years?
Yeah, yeah.
Because people make profit in the confusion.
And who are these people?
Not Domingo say, oh, I go Igbo country next week. Make I not reach airport. They tell me, say, you are not welcome.
But let's look at, somebody must wake up. I mean, I'm seeing some countries in Africa, especially West Africa, that are, you know, beginning to wake up. The Francophone countries like
Burkina Faso,
Guinea, and Niger. I don't know how long that will last.
Exactly.
But can't African countries, leaders, see the, you know, is it the light at the end of the tunnel?
No, they can't, because here we are on this continent. I know my president, William R. Talbot, played a great part in the establishment of ECOWAS. If you look at it, we made that move before even the European Union.
Yes, I remember that.
We were in existence, ECOWAS, before the European Union. Look how far the European Union has gone. We come to 2024, and I'm watching ECOWAS fall apart because of the egos of leadership, etc. Now Burkina Faso has removed itself, Niger, Guinea, next thing we'll know in Senegal. We are breaking our union.
So because these are very youthful leaders.
Of course.
Senegal is in its 40s, the
That's
others
right.
are in their 30s.
That's right. That's right.
That
But
doesn't
I'm
sound
saying we're supposed to be bringing these
Closer.
young leaders in.
Closer to us.
But instead of that, our leaders now are scared of endorsing them, scared of rubbing shoulders with them because Uncle Sam won't like it, or Macron in France will not like it, and the buddies, etc.
Okay. Let's suspend that a bit.
Yeah, I told
Take
you.
a short break. We'll be right back, and then we'll deal with women and children and back to Africa.
Okay.
We'll be right back. Okay, so welcome back. This is Soni Irabor Live, featuring Africa's own Miatta Fahnbulleh. Well, she's Liberian, she's Ghanaian, she's Nigerian,
Sierra Leonean.
she's an African. Well, you're an activist of sorts. Even from the way you speak, one can tell. Let's look at women and children in Africa. What is the hope of the African woman? The way they look at me.
You know, and I mean, it made me think. I had to stop and ponder, because as much as I'm proud of the fact that Liberia made history by electing the first woman president on this continent,
Yeah.
I also was disappointed
Why?
because I didn't think she did enough for women. and children. I saw her become another president, a president, part of the boys' club. Do you understand? And I think that's what happens to women who evolve into politics. They don't want to show any kind of weakness, or they don't want to show that they are biased or whatever. So, you know, they want to be tough like the guys. And so from my own experience, the case of the African mother and children is still very challenging. Very, very challenging in Africa. I tell the young Liberians, so when I was 9 years old, I never saw children selling on the street. I never saw they were middle age or you know, in their 20s if you saw them selling on the street, but not children. Now, in the 20th century, 24th century, all over.
Well, you know, you blamed earlier on, you blamed it on the war, 10-year-old war for that matter.
The children had started selling on the street by the 80s, yes. Oh. By the 80s, they had started selling on the streets. And I mean, it's now become a way of life. Running through cars and everything. You go to Sierra Leone, you see it. You go to Gambia, you see it. You know, you go to Senegal, you see it.
It's in Nigeria.
It's in Nigeria. You know,
so you think it's something that started, because it started way back, it has become a norm?
Yes.
What do you advise African leaders to do then?
Look, the African leaders, I mean, how do I advise people who I feel don't care?
Say that again, please.
How do I advise people who have shown they don't care?
How do you know they don't care?
Because there's no passion in it. I see business as usual. In practicing this democracy, I realize the person who's got the bigger pocket, whether his intentions are real, whether he sincerely cares about his people. Do you understand? I've seen in my lifetime, I have like 3 African leaders in my generation. I was proud of Murtala Mohammed, the stand he took in the Angola-South African conflict. I'm proud of the contributions of Jerry Rawlings because I knew him and I knew how passionate he was about this continent. And now I feel sense of pride when I see somebody like Kangame, who, yes, he's been there, he's been there for 30 years, but look what he's done with his 30 years. Look what he's done.
So there's leadership flowing through.
Yes.
And it's showing in the citizens of the country.
In the citizens of the country, and what you give people of the country. You understand? When Ghana was going through their crisis in the 70s, I remember Ghanaians used to come to Liberia to buy soap, toothpaste.
Same way they used to come to Nigeria as well.
To look for employment.
Yeah. There was even a song that time. Now our money no day, pocket no good. Now so suffer. It was a Ghanaian song and it made hits in Nigeria.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And then this young firebrand, see that? Young firebrand, because he was in his 20s, just like Tarawali, Jerry Rawlings.
Yeah.
When he came and shook all hell, shook everybody.
Is that the kind of thing Nigeria, Africa needs now? African countries, is that the kind of thing they need? Kind of a purposeful, courageous leadership?
Yes, yeah. I want to ask Soni, because me, I'm just a mundane artist, and yes, I'm an activist. But don't you feel ashamed when you hear of our people getting on boats, risking their lives to go to where? Spain, Greece, getting on the boats, dying. It's almost as if we've gone back to the 16th century when they put our people on the boat again. Those who got sick on the boat, they dumped in the ocean. Those who wanted to rebel, do you understand? Now, of their own free will, citizens of independent African countries just want to get out. They want to leave the continent. They're not saying, oh, let me go and check out this place. And I can understand why. Look what is happening to our people in South Africa. As soon as there's a little bit, the local population turn on them.
Okay, we'll take a short break and we'll be right back after this one. It's getting very interesting, I must say. So when we went on a short break just now, laughter is the best medicine. When we went on a short break just now, we were actually talking about brain drain, which is very saddening actually. But then I want to take you back there. People enter the boat, they get to the middle of the ocean, they get dumped, some drown off.
Yes.
Many Nigerian youths have gone like that.
Yes, Ghanaian youth, Liberian youth.
And so on.
Yes.
What is wrong with our leadership that they cannot see these things?
They don't care. Because like I said, I'm not a politician, I'm just an African, but I feel ashamed when I see those pictures. The fact that, 400 years ago, we were in chains and carried away.
They say we sold our own people by then.
Yes. Because you came with another. No. A friend of mine just said, when they sold those people, they did not realize that they were going in shackles. Or they were going to be abused as workers. That's what they say. Because in Africa during that time, we exchanged our people to go to this chiefdom to serve in the king's court.
Those who survived.
We're talking about those who were here. There was a system here on the continent.
Yes.
There was a system. Let nobody, you know that. Your history, if you check the history of Edo, you think they were just mad people running around the place? You had a system. We had a system, whether it was the paramount chief, whether it was grand chief. We had councils in the villages.
So there was kind of order.
There was order. And yes, you can say we had slaves within our own family and stuff, but they were not treated to the extent that they were treated when they got on the other side.
In an inhuman way.
In a most inhuman way. So we have to look at it. We have to look at it because we're going nowhere, Soni. The best of our brains, the best for the future of this country, are being captured because of the financial benefits. By 2004, when I left America, almost in every high school, graduation, valedictorian was a Sierra Leonean or a Nigerian or Ghanaian. The salutatorian was a Nigerian. I mean, our kids, topping the schools and go to the best of university. They are given scholarships. Because they're also looking for smart people to take their countries forward. And that's how they lure us. And I'm saying...
Meanwhile, they were depleted
Yes.
in the process.
We're depleted in the process for the second time.
For the second time. Wow.
For the second time. There's a association in the United States of America. How I know these people, consisting of about 65,000 doctors, Nigerian doctors.
Wow, that's a lot.
Hell yes, that's a lot. Nigerian doctors, over 75,000 of them in the United States of America, working in the hospital, and out of the 5 specialties in medicine, the top 3 are always Nigerian Ghanaian.
Wow.
Yes. Your country has the largest amount of specialists, hearts, cardiology, ophthalmology, or whatever you name.
Our health sector here is almost moribund.
And look at our health sector. And look at our health sector. I am embarrassed as a very proud African woman, knowing I'm embarrassed when our presidents have to get on planes to go to England for health care, to go to France or go to Germany. That, it's shameful. It's shameful. Why are they not here? Why are they not on this continent?
But there were things you said earlier that even brought to the fore this discussion. The same African leaders are bought over by Western leaders. And I brought the issue of the Chinese and the Indian control that's already brewing. How do we redress this whole thing? Is it possible that we can actually get our leaders to understand that they are exposing themselves in the bad light?
Amen, Soni, man. For somebody to reach the highest level of leadership and don't realize they are presenting us in a bad light, and we want to call them leaders.
Very sad.
You know, my president of my lifetime was William V. S. Tubman. President William V. S. Tubman. Where did he die? London. And you know, there were mysteries and conspiracy theories, blah, 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 about his death. Sekou Touré, conspiracy, etc., about his death. He went to the West for treatment.
Meanwhile, our healthcare system...
Forget about it.
abandoned
Yeah.
or deliberately denied the sources of,
The most brilliant of the doctors and the healthcare people from Ghana, from Nigeria, what are they doing outside? Because leadership thinks $300,000 a year or $400,000 a year is too much to pay them.
No.
But guess what? They'll find their plane ticket and they'll go to America. My doctor in Accra, wonderful heart specialist. He's got all the qualifications. Do you know what he's resorted to? 6 months he's in the US giving heart surgery. Giving heart surgery, which he's paid big bucks for. And then he comes to Ghana to take care of his Ghanaian patients.
And he gets less money.
He is free.
Oh my God. We had a doctor like that here.
It's free.
Yeah.
You understand? What are we doing? I mean, you say, how can we get... Our leaders don't think. Our leaders don't think, and they don't see, and they don't realize. They don't need a commoner like me to bring it to their attention.
Somebody has to speak for the people.
Yeah, well, we're doing all we can. We're talking. It doesn't really change that much.
You know, when you talked about, I believe it was Ellen Sirleaf, as the first African woman president. Then only recently, maybe not too recently, Ethiopian president is also a woman. I'm just wondering, did she learn anything from the failings of, say, Sirleaf of Liberia?
You know,
we don't seem to be feeling the pulse of the Ethiopian presidents.
Yeah.
I would love to see that she's doing exactly a lot better than other women.
Yes. And we would like to see that. We would like to see that women leadership has to increase. One of the reasons why Rwanda is so steady and has made such advancement is because that is the only country in Africa where the leadership, or the House of Representatives or the Parliament or what, has 50% women.
Ah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
50.
50% in the Rwandan Parliament. So, you know, I don't want to sit here as a woman and say, I'm pushing the women cause, because I know not the women can be just as corrupt, bad management as well. But I'm saying there's something in Rwanda where the women there, not having the leadership, but having the power within the parliament, have been able to push their country forward. You know, and all the other people who come up with the rhetoric, oh, well, let's give them 30%, let's give them, no. Just let women go in as, let them flow, let them be leaders too. Let them be leaders. Now we born una.
Not true.
Now we give una Bobby. Now we they bring una up till you reach whatever age. Do you understand?
Yes.
Why is it that you can't trust women leadership or allow more mothers to get in there? It'll be better for us.
There's some kind of movement. Bob Marley used to say, Exodus movement of the people. It's biblical and it's all of that. Some kind of movement in the last 3 years or so where we saw youth emancipation becoming more prominent. The African, the Nigerian, the Kenyan
Yes.
are the most recent.
Yes.
You know what happened in Kenya
Yes.
last month? And then, of course, Nigeria this month. What do you have to say?
It's going to get more.
More?
Oh, yes. It's going to get more. Soni, we were brought up, and I'm older than you, but we're the same generation.
Yeah.
We were brought up not to rebel, not to rebel, you know, to follow orders, instructions. And so when you think about it, our generation really never went into protest.
No.
Because we had been taught to respect authority. And I mean, if we fell out of line, they would call your mother and talk to your child, that kind of a situation. This is a new era. You've got technology. The children are on their phone all day long. Nigeria is communicating with Colombia in South America or Britain. They're following everything. They are not going to be as docile as we are. They're not. And I'm saying we can look at 30-year-olds as children, but they're not. I had already had my first child when I was 30, by the time I was 30. These children are discussing, they're sharing what is going on, finding solutions amongst themselves.
And they are also finding their levels of independence.
That's right. Which they want desperately. Which they want.
Why are the African leaders not seeing these things?
Is it
and
me you're
using that
asking?
to bring them together?
Is that me? Sonny, when you ask a question like that, you don't want to hear me talk.
I want to hear you talk now.
And abuse them.
Because you're telling the truth.
They don't care. When they take the oath, in fact, before they even take the oath, because I'm saying, if I want to lead my people, the first thing I have to do is actually go out to my people. Go out to my people to actually touch them. Oh, Miatta, how are you? Brother Moses, how are you? You go and work in the community. Start from there. Find out. But most of our rulers are coming out of nowhere, but because they have bags of money.
Where did they get the money?
Yeah, well, you know, from all kinds of things. All over. And they end up buying the voters that they say they're representing. But guess what?
What you talk about?
It's an investment for them.
Well, you talked about democracy. That is not democratic.
Yeah,
right?
but they
Buying
know
votes.
exactly. And so why should we call it that? Why should we call it that? I mean, it's happening everywhere. It's very, very discouraging. We're seeing young people aspire, genuine young people aspire. But I'm saying you have others who really don't care for the people, and they will come in and be the winners and go into parliaments or whatever and say they are representing the people. They're not representing the people. They're representing their own interests.
You're a great performer. You've
I
been
am?
known for, yes, you are. You've been known for such beautiful social commentary performances over the years. And I just wonder, in your movement across Africa and the rest of the world, how much of that affected your lyrics and the way you speak your mind about music, about the world you see, about the people around you, and things like that?
Well, in America, and my daughter, I'm writing this song, Save Our People or something like that. I'm saying, and she looks at me and she says, Tata, why don't you stop singing these depressing songs about Africa? I swear. And I said, is that how my songs are? She said, yeah, do something lively, you know.
Which is your normal character anyway.
Yeah, you know, do something. She said, don't sing about Liberia anymore. Don't sing about Africa. And I'm saying, no, I can't. Because it's a part of me. I'm not one of those people in denial. I travel, I see the madness, I see the chaos, etc. And I'm just moved to do something. I remember when I came from England the very first time and seeing little girls with the trays on their head selling groundnuts in the street. I was shocked.
Wow.
I was shocked because I said,
your parents did not prepare you for that.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. How does somebody send their child out in the street, great big street, cars up and down?
That was decades ago.
Yeah.
Still on now.
And it's worse. It's worse because the poverty has grown. The poverty has grown. Look at my country, the first independent country in Africa that inspired the rest of this.
The oldest, oh wow, that's true. 1860 what?
1822, and then we declared our independence 1847.
Wow.
First independent African nation before 100 years after, and then Ghana in 1957. Do you understand? And there was a time when Liberia was flourishing, investors, blah, 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 blah. And in 2023, I think we're second to the last on the scale for being the poorest nation.
Poorest nation on earth.
The poorest nation on earth. And you ask, what went wrong? You know? And I refuse to say it was just the war. Yes, the war caused the chaos for 14 years. But how come we can't pick up? How come we can't go forward? And once you've had a war, our friends really don't care. They're not interested anymore. They've got you labeled as a...
Well, we shouldn't let that, should we? We shouldn't get labeled. We shouldn't let them label us.
Yeah, well, we're trying. We're trying. I mean, in the African context, activists and people who make pronouncements are seen as enemy of the state. Do you understand? They want to overthrow the government. And I'm saying, no.
You want the best for the people.
You want the best for your people. You want the best. But I can tell why they don't, they cannot relate.
Why?
Because they have these fantastic big SUVs and CUVs, etc., tinted windows, and I see everybody with bodyguards, etc.
That's another very strange thing that I see with us. You see, I saw the Ghanaian president the other day, and there was somebody standing behind him. Mm-hmm. Saw the Nigerian president, somebody standing behind him. You see the American president, there's nobody standing behind him. The French president, there's nobody.
They are afraid of the shadows.
What is happening?
They are afraid of the shadows.
Why should that really be the case?
Yes. I can tell it's a very simple thing. Once somebody seems to have been elevated, we get this paranoia that they want to get rid of them or something. And I'm saying, even if they want to get rid of you, that's the sacrifice you've made. When I was nominated as chair of the inaugural committee, simple chair lady of the inaugural committee, you will not believe it, Soni. Oh, Miatta, we have to get you a jeep and supply you with 2 bodyguards. And I'm saying, for what? No. You need. I said, I beg your pardon. I have walked the streets of Monrovia. Nobody has harmed me. I don't want to be, it's like, join us. The fact that I was now chair lady, join us now to get all the trappings. And when I reach somewhere, the security jump outside and open the door. I don't become big. I rejected it. Wow. Because why? Why do I want to be afraid of my people? Why? Yes, I mean, the special circumstances and whatnot. But I think if a leader is ready to put himself out for his people, that should not even be on his mind.
There's something that has happened in South Africa in recent times. Xenophobia, they called it. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, Nigerians were targeted. Mm-hmm. And there was some kind of, we might call it systemic lashback. Mm-hmm. I just was wondering, what do you think is responsible for an African nation performing that kind of aggression against a fellow African country?
South Africans were born out of violence. We were born out of violence.
How?
Well, they were under the Dutch, who treated them like animals. Black South Africans were cut off from the rest of us. Sure. Cut off to the point that when I met friends in South Africa in 2008, they did not know that we, Nigeria, Liberia, etc., gave passports to Miriam Makeba, Hugh Masekela, Nelson Mandela even came to Liberia before he went to prison.
Thabo Mbeki was an ANC rep in Nigeria,
yes,
as well.
Exactly. But they were outside. And I asked my friend, I said, but you didn't listen to the news? They said they only listened to Africana news, and they were not reporting what was going on in Nigeria, Ghana, nowhere. They listened to what the apartheid system wanted them to know.
Wow.
Do you understand? And people say, no. Those people were just like our brothers and sisters before the Civil War and stuff in America. And they didn't try to educate them. They didn't try to educate them. So that xenophobia comes out of lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge of each other.
Yeah. Of
each other. Because why would you just turn on Nigerians, etc.? But Soni, let me admit, let's be truthful. Nigerian man goes somewhere, it takes over.
So you think that's the reason?
They said the Nigerian men took their girls.
Oh.
Check it out.
Wow.
Those fine South African girls, etc. Yeah, they didn't like that. And the Nigerians go there as poor as they are, they have more money than the South Africans. Do you understand? Yeah, you can't. This one, they call Shakara our business. So that's the humorous side we have to look, and it's for us. I say us, the creative artists and people. It's our responsibility to reach out and quell those things and share experiences, etc. I met many South Africans here in Nigeria for the first time. We had a brother called Tembo, remember? Musician.
And Victor McClure.
That's right.
Soli Matabese,
That's right.
Peace, all of them.
So many of them, so many of them. So we knew about them and they came to meet us, but those who remained in South Africa until Nelson Mandela and others came, they had no knowledge of who Sierra Leoneans were, who Nigerians were, who Ghanaians were. They had none.
Okay, we're about to wind up. We have just 1 minute to go. What's your general advice for African leaders and the followers?
Lock the continent down. Nobody comes in, nobody goes out. And we find our solution. We find our solution and we mend our own problems. We've got the expertise. Quickly, you know why Rwanda made the advance? Because after their war or their genocide, there was an appeal put out to Rwandese who were all over the world. Come back home. If it's 6 months, you can give. If it's a year, you can give. Come back home and help us. And that's what happened. If you move the Nigerian doctors and nurses out of the hospitals in the United States of America, their health system will break down too. Simple.
Okay. Miatta Fahnbulleh, a great lady. We called her the entertainer who knew her onions and knew how to take care of the African child.
You're going to ask me about my namesake, but it's okay.
Yes.
The next conversation.
Miatta Fahnbulleh of UK, Member of Parliament.
Yes.
She's 44 years old. How come the same name?
That's my niece, my brother's second child.
No kidding.
Oh, yes.
Now don't waka.
Yes, we don't go everywhere. Yes.
Thank you so much for
it's
being with us. It's
always a pleasure, and we will not make it this long. I promise I will come visit Nigeria more often.
I'll be glad to receive you.
I've missed it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Soni.
Miatta Fahnbulleh, great Liberian entertainer, musician, all of the above, woman activist too. You listen to the knowledge that just flowed with us. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the show. Soni Irabor Live always, and next week is another very interesting guest will come away. Bye-bye now.